Hey guys, welcome to the Athfix. In this video, I am going to discuss about the CSS3. Well, when we have CSS, why we require the CSS3? Just like Intel 3 and Intel 5, Intel 5 is an updated version of Intel 3, just like the CSS3 was an updated version of CSS. Means CSS has a lot of content as we discussed in our previous playlist, but the CSS3 has also a lot of content. For that purpose, it was made into a new chapter or the new course. Well, CSS3 includes the border radius, means we can make the border radius, means circled border or round border for any of the object or the element which is in a rectangular or square format. And we can also add the background images, and we can also add the multiple backgrounds, animations, and box shadow, as well as the gradient, which include linear, radial, and conic, and the transformation, which includes rotate, scale, move, skew. Means any of the element we can rotate it, we can scale it, we can compress it, we can expand it, we can move it, we can skew it, we can make a lot of things with the CSS3. And the next thing, the upcoming styles are supported in specific browsers. Means if you are written the styling in the Chrome browser, the same styling will not work for the browsers like Firefox and Opera, and these are specific to the specific browsers only. For that purpose, CSS vendors are introduced. What CSS vendors do? We have a specific prefix beneath that styling. Means if you have border radius and we include the WebKit, then WebKit will support for the Safari and Chrome and many more. And this WebKit allows the Safari to show the round borders, and in the Chrome browsers to show the round borders. If you mention MOZ and we give the border radius, then it is supported in the Firefox. If we give O and the border radius, it is supported in Opera. If we use MS and we use border radius, it is supported in Internet Explorer. Because this CSS3 is specific to the specific browsers only. For that we use the CSS vendors. Then what are the browser prefix which we use in the CSS vendors? For the style which is specific to the Firefox, we use Moz. The Moz prefix which we use along with the style as a prefix allows us to make the style which is specific to the Firefox. Moz is a abbreviation for the Mozilla Firefox. And we next have the WebKit. When we use WebKit, the style is supported for the Safari as well as the Google Chrome. And next, when we use O, it is supported for the Opera. And when we use MS, it is supported for the Internet Explorer. And this is all about the CSS vendors. Now we will discuss about the border radius. Well, border radius is a property and a style which is used to give the round borders or the circular borders to the elements which are in a rectangular or the square format. Well, this border radius has four values, which includes the value for the top left of the rectangle or the square, and the top right, and next the bottom right and bottom left. These are all the properties of the border radius. And if we don't want 4 values, then we can only include one value, and this one value is supported for all the top left, top right, bottom left and bottom right corners. And the values for the border radius might be in pixels or the percentage. And next fact, when we are using the width and height equal and using the border radius half of them, means if you are using the width equal to 130 pixel and height equal to 130 pixel, and we are using the border radius as a 65 pixel, then it make a circular box, and it is an easier way to make the circular box rather than using the SVG or canvas. And this is about the border radius. Now we will discuss about the box shadow. I'm going to create the border radius. To create any border radius, we must have a tag in the HTML. Here I have a div tag. As you can have a look at here I have a div tag, and I will call that div tag with a selector of a div. And we must have to give the width. I will give width around 100 pixel, and I will give height around 100 pixel. And now I will give some border of 1 pixel and solid black. Now I will give the border radius. If now I give the border radius, now it is visible for you. Let's give the border radius. When I give the border radius, I will give it around 30 pixel. 30 pixel. As you can have a look at here in the browser, I have created a tag of I have created a square of width 100 pixel and height of 100 pixel and a border radius border of 1 pixel and border radius of 30 pixel. Well, if I change that 30 pixel into the 30%, as you can have a look at here, if I change this 30%, it is getting changed. It is getting changed. If I use instead of 30 pixel, I use 40 pixel. As you can have a look at here, it is getting changed. And to create a circle using this border radius, we have to watch the width. Width and height must be equal, and we have to take the border radius, which is half of it. Here I use the width as 100 pixel and height as 100 pixel. Therefore, I take the border radius as a 50 pixel. When I take it as a 50 pixel, it will create a round or circle. As you can have a look at here, it has created circle. This is how the border radius work. And we can give the border radius in percentage, also in the pixel, but a pixel is preferred. As you can have a look at here, I'm giving the 10 pixel. 10 pixel. As you can have a look at here, I just reload the site as it is getting a 10 pixel. Also, you can give the pixel with the sides. Means we have the 4 corners. One is around the left, and second one is around the left top, right top, and right bottom and left bottom. Well, here I create 10 pixel for the left top, and for right top I create 20 pixel, and for right bottom I create 10 pixel, and for for left bottom I created 20 pixel. As you can have a look at here, when I reload the page, you are getting like this. As you can have a look at here, because I use a 10 pixel here, 10 pixel here, it is getting 10 pixel over here. On the left top it is getting 10 pixel, on the left on the right top it is getting 20, on the right bottom it is getting 10, and on the left bottom it is getting 20 pixel. This is how we create a border radius. Now discussing about the box shadow. Whenever you visit any of the Google sites or any of the Google blogs, you will come to know that many of the boxes and the elements are of box shadow, means they have the shadow for their box. We can make that box shadow using this box shadow property in CSS3, and it is the main feature of the CSS3 which we are using. Well, box shadow has 4 values and a color. What are the 4 values? First value is for the left side, second value is for the bottom side, and third value is for the blur, and fourth value is for dark, and fifth value is color. When we are using the values, it must be in pixel or in percentage. Probably we use the pixels. When we are using the pixel, on the left side, if we use for example, I am using the box shadow equal to 10 pixel, 10 pixel and 5 pixel and 2 pixel and color equal to gray. Then that 10 pixel which I am using at the first side, that 10 pixel of color is spreaded around the left side, and next 10 pixel is spreaded around the bottom side, and next blur is used to make a blur around the borders, which will give a shadow look to the element. At last we are using the dark. When we use more dark, it will make a thick shadow to that element. At last we are using the color. What color we use, that shadow is displayed. If you are using the red color, red shadow is displayed. If you are using light gray is displayed. This is all about the box shadow. Now coming to the box shadow. To create a box shadow, you must have the width, height, and whether you take up the border or not, it is left to you. But I am taking the border to show that here is the square present. Here I use the box shadow. Well, here I am creating the box shadow, and I am giving the pixel, and it is 1 pixel for the left, and 1 pixel for the bottom, and 5 pixel for the spread, and 1 pixel for the darker, and last I will give the color light gray. and I will save it. As you can have a look at here, when I reload it, you are getting the color, means you are getting a gray color around the left, around the right, and around the bottom. Around the right and around the bottom. This is how we go with the box shadow. If I just remove this border 1 pixel and I will save it and I just reload the page, as you can have a look at here, it is getting the light gray color around 1 pixel, 1 pixel, 5 pixel and 1 pixel around it, where 1 pixel represent the spread towards right, and 1 pixel represent spread towards bottom, and 5 pixel represent the amount of spreading, how much it has to spread. It is spreading around 5 pixel, and 1 pixel is darker. It is getting darker for 1 pixel, and light gray is a color. This is how we go with the box shadow. We can also create the inner shadow in the CSS3. Inner shadow means the shadow which is displayed outside the borders of that rectangular or the square element. It is started displaying inside the square or the rectangular element. For that we use the property of box shadow and inset. Inset is a thing which will give the box shadow inside the rectangular or square element. And next, as it is, we have a left side pixel, right side pixel, and blur pixel and dark pixel. At last we have the color. This is all about the inner shadow. Also we can make multiple shadows for which we use the multiple. We can also create the multiple shadows in the CSS. For that we use two values for single property. Means single property which is a box shadow, and we use the two properties, means two values like inset 10 pixel 10 pixel 5 pixel gray, and we complete it. And next we use inset -10 -10 5 and gray, which makes two multiple shadows for a single rectangular or square element. Now coming to the transparency effect or transparent effect. This property is used to make any of the element in the HTML transparent. For the transparency effect, first we have to discuss about RGBA, and we have discussed RGB in the pixels. Now we are going to discuss extra thing A, which means the opacity of the color. If we are using RGB and we are giving the color to make that full darker to less darker using the opacity A. A has a value starting from 0 to 1, and which includes 0, 0.1, 0.2 till 1. And this opacity is used to make darker and fainter in the transparency effect. Next we have HSL. HSL means hue, saturation and lightness. Hue means the color. This hue has a value from 0 to 360, and say 0 to 360 degree, and if we start moving from 0 to 360, we come up with different colors, which includes red, orange and yellow and green and light green and aqua and blue and violet and next pink, and we come up with a red. And when we come with the saturation, we can increase or decrease this color. Means we can make the saturation, means if we are using the saturation equal to 0, it will give us that white color. If we are using the saturation equal to 100%, we are using or we are getting the dark red color. At last we have the lightness. If we are using more lightness, then it becomes more transparent. If we are using less lightness, it becomes less transparent. Now we are going to discuss about the pseudo classes. What are the pseudo classes? We have discussed about the class, ID and tags as a selector through which we select and give styling to the specific class or ID or the tags. But in the pseudo classes, we have specific keywords through which we call the specific text without using actual tag. Means if you have created any of the text using the p tag, and your p tag includes some of the text in the HTML, and you have to give the color to the first letter of that whole paragraph which we have written in the paragraph p tag. Then we have a specific keyword first letter, and using that p equal to first letter, we can give the specific color to that first letter of that paragraph. This is all about pseudo classes. Well, pseudo class include many of the things like first line, means we can give the color or styling to the first line. Also we can give the color and many of the things to the first letter as well as the selection. We can select specific things, list and table or the rows in the tables and many of the elements of the HTML. We can also create the element in the CSS using before and after. If we are using a before, we make content equal to 0, we make we allot some width and height, and we create a specific element before or after that element using these pseudo classes. We will discuss about it in clarity using the VS Code. At last, we are using the word wrap. Well, word wrap is used to make a line breaks or make a normal text using this. Well, we have the property word wrap and we have the two values, normal and the break word. If you are using the break word, it will break the sentence, or if you are using the normal, normal text is displayed. And this is all about the CSS3 first video of the CSS3 code. Create the inner shadow. To create inner shadow, whatever box shadow we have created, we have to insert the inset. We have to insert the inset, and I just reload the page. As you can have a look at here, when I inserted the inset, the box shadow which is appearing outside just started appearing inside. And as you can have a look at here, this is appearing inside, and you can have a look at here, it is just like a push into something web browser in a square format. This is how the inset look like. And to add the multiple backgrounds, I have to use the multiple values. Here I am using the inset and I am using the multiple values, 1 pixel, and I am using the 1 pixel, and I am using the 4 pixel, and I am using the 1 pixel, and I am using the light gray, and I'm using the light gray, and inside it I have to use the comma, and I have to save it, and I will reload the page. As you can have a look at here, it is getting darker because we have used two values for them. If I use, instead of 1 pixel, if I use of -4 pixel, it has to show me in a different manner. As you can have a look at here, when I use -4 pixel, it is showing here like this. Instead of, if I use 1 pixel, it is showing me this like here. Here is how I created the two values. I have used a box shadow. It is the first value and this is the second value. Both are inset, means the shadow is appearing inside. And for first one, I have created 1 pixel, 1 pixel, 5 pixel, 1 pixel, which represent 1 pixel represent the inside right side, 1 pixel represent bottom, and 5 pixel represent the spreading, 1 pixel represent the darkness. And you might include or not. It will just take 1 pixel as a default. And at last we have two values, inset, and this is how we create the multiple shadow. And multiple shadow is well created to give a darker shadow to it. And this is all about the box shadow. Well, do subscribe our channel for regular updates. Thank you.